Good morning. Today we will be talking about the Sun Temple Konark, which is in Odisha, very close to Bhubaneswar. And I am talking about this temple because there were a lot of questions from the audience during the lecture series on IKS in physics and chemistry, which was organized by IIT Mumbai. So there were questions about this temple. So I decided to have a talk with you all on this subject. And as we know that this temple was constructed in the 13th century and is an example of an excellent solar science and stone craftsmanship. And apart from being a marvel in the architecture, it is a significant demonstration of optics, astronomy, and metaphysics. So we start with the temple. It's dedicated to Lord Surya, that is the sun. And the temple was built by the king Narsimha Dev I, and it's a giant stone uh, shaped. Uh, it's a chariot shaped giant stone object, and which depicts the figure of Lord Sun holding lotus flowers, and he's riding a chariot which is being driven by a charioteer Aruna. And they are the goddesses Usha and Pratyusha, which are shooting arrows to challenge the darkness. On the right hand side of the screen, you can see an architectural layout of the temple. So, at the center is the main temple complex. In the starting of the main temple complex, just behind the stairs, is the audience hall or the Jagmohana. Behind it is the main sanctum, which is the Garbhagriha. And this is the usual architecture found in the Indian temples. There is another hall in front of the main complex, that is the dancing hall or the Nat Mandap. And on the left of this Natya Mandap is an offering hall or the Bhog Mandap. There is a temple at the back, that is the Maya Devi temple, and another further back is the Vaishnava temple. So, as I said, it is a chariot shaped structure, and the wheels of the chariot, there are 24 wheels in the chariot, and each wheel has a diameter of 12 feet, having 8 spokes. And this diameter corresponds to the 12 months in the Hindu calendar, and each pair to the Shukla and the Krishna cycles. There are 7 horses in front, which symbolizes Gayatri, Brihati, Ushni, Jagati, Tishtub, Anustub, and Pankti. And since the temple has been built by a black dark stone, so it is also known as Black Pagoda. So, like I earlier said in the previous slide, there are 24 elaborately carved stone wheels having diameter of about 12 feet, and each wheel has 8 major and 8 minor spokes and a diameter of 9 feet in the detailed carvings in the walls. Then the entire structure is pulled by a set of 7 horses, rendering it a chariot structure. So starting with the stones, there are three primary stones that have been used in the construction of the temple. The first one is the chloride, which has been used for door lintels, frames, and fine sculptures. The second stone is the laterite that has been used for the platform core and the foundational staircase. Third stone is the condylite, which has been used throughout, contributing to the giant structure. And the noteworthy thing in this, and the noteworthy aspect is that all the three stones are not found in the state of Orissa or anywhere nearby. So basically, the whole structure doesn't exist today. What exists today is the original Viman, the Jagmohan, and the boundary and the enclosure. As far as the sculptures are concerned, they are sculptures of musicians and deities. They are sculptures depicting warriors, yogis, mothers, teachers, travelers. It is covering all the sections of the society and erotic sculptures also. So now let's come to the optics. Since I said in the starting that it is a brilliant example of the applied optics, the solar geometry, and the light engineering. So we start with the incident of the sun rays directly into the temple. Because the temple has been aligned on the east and west axis. East-west axis symbolizing the sun originates from the east and sets in the west. So at sunrise, the first rays were designed to enter the main entrance and illuminate the deity in the center. That is, the first ray of the sun touches the deity. This was made possible through multiple diffractions of the light beam. The light beam was diffracted at the oblique angles, which was well calculated. So, symbolizing that a significant optical geometry was put to use. Taking 24 wheels as sundials remind us of the fact that the spokes cast shadows, and these shadows have different angles at different times. So they can be used as a measure of the time. The physics behind is, the underlying physics is the fundamental phenomena of tangent theta, that is tan theta, which is equal to height upon distance. So as the sun shifts its position, the theta changes, and so the length of the shadow also changes, and the angle of the shadow consequently. As far as the light shadow sculpture engineering is concerned, it has been noticed that the morning and the evening light beams enhance specific figures. And during the midday, the light minimizes the shadow contrast. That means the engineers at that time were having the knowledge of contrast formation. They were having an understanding of the incident angle dependence, and they were having knowledge how to control the light intensity modulation. As far as the seasonal tracking is concerned, it has been observed there at the temple that at the winter solstice, the sunrise at the southernmost azimuth and that the spring equinox, the sunrise is due east, signifying the direct axial alignment. During the summer solstice, the sunrise is at the northernmost azimuth, and at the autumn equinox, the sunrise due east again. So, the optical symbolism is the Surya, the 24 wheels, and the 7 horses, which symbolize the 7 days of the week, or the 7 colors of the light. So, when we compare the optical features of the temple with the modern equivalent concepts, the east-facing axial alignment resembles the solar observatories today. The wheel sundials are analog to the solar clocks. The light channel to sanctum is the analogous to the optical beam alignment, and the shadow-based time reading is comparable to the solar angular measurement. The most specific aspect that the applied geometrical optics has been constructed without using any lens. The other feature which we heard of, that there was a massive lodestone which kept the idol of Surya suspended in the midair. And it was also said that the magnetic field which was created inside the temple disturbed the maritime compass of ships along the Orissa coast, which is quite far away from the temple. So when we analyze these things, first we take the floating idol. As the Earnshaw's theorem states that the static magnetic levitation is unstable without constraints. So leviating the massive idol would require an extraordinary large magnetic field intensity, which is hard to construct, which is hard to uh, have in the natural logistics. In the present day, we are achieving these magnetic field intensities through superconducting magnets. But at that time, the natural magnets were there. So it was hardly possible to have that magnetic field intensity with that natural magnetic stones. The second is the compass disruption. As we know that the magnetic field decreases with the distance, and for a diffraction in the compass, you require a significant threshold magnetic field intensity. So at a large distance from the temple, there are hardly any possibilities that a deflection in the compass needle can be achieved. And third, the iron clamps. The use of these iron clamps has been confirmed, and this suggests the advanced metallurgy that was used while constructing the temple. But these iron clamps doesn't signify for any magnetic interaction, because the layout of these iron clamps is not in the manner that is required to achieve a net deflection. So what is achievable, or what is probabilistic probably true in this context? As far as floating idol is concerned, it's unlikely. The large lodgestone at the top, which is said to balance the structure of the temple, it could have been possible, but it is unverified to this extent. As far as the compass disruption at the sea is concerned, which seems to be probably not true because of the distance. And extensive iron use in structure has been confirmed archaeologically. So, what is symbolic in the structure is the sun, as the Lord Surya represents the cosmic energy, and magnetism symbolizes the unseen forces. So, the magnetism is narrative likely evolved as a metaphoric narrative rather than a technological one. So, inspiring the visible iron reinforcement and later amplified the colonial era storytelling. So, what we see about the Konark temple, that it's a monument where the science meets the sacred. And the notable things are the solar alignment, the sundial wheels, and the sacred symbolism, the optics, astronomy, and metaphysics in one monument. As far as the magnetism is concerned, it is probably the evidence that we have till today that seems not a realistic one because we don't have the full structure before. So I think I was able to answer the questions which were put up by the audience in the online lecture on 21st February. So thank you for listening to today's video. Thank you.